How do you keep calm when you're sitting at a table about to be $5 million richer?
You have to be crazy confident. You can really believe in yourself. You have a very big advantage.
I'm the best! Yes!
It's very important to believe that and to get that momentum when you crush them, to make sure they really understand that they're under pressure and that now you're going to really drill them hard and suck that blood out.
It's interesting because we just think it's a poker game, but it's not. It's a show to a certain extent, right? Especially when there's cameras on you.
Pleasure and entertainment, right? We have to have everything to have fun and to be happy.
I'm all in. You want to do this? Do this properly.
I think everybody should play poker, learning how to protect their chips, bankroll situations. So many good traders come out from poker.
That's how you got into crypto, and a lot of poker players were into crypto early.
I started doing a bit in crypto and Bitcoin, maybe 2012.
Do you think everybody should own crypto? Everybody should own some Bitcoin?
Yeah, at least 1%, 10%. Just put some money in and forget about it and spend it when you need it. It's just there to have benefit from and to enjoy. That's the key.
2014 to 19, you decided you would run to represent Lithuania and the European Union. How did that come about?
Just wanted to change something, to give something back, give all my salary away. I didn't do it for the money. It was a good 5 years. Happy to be in and happy to be out.
Most people find something they're pretty good at and then they do it to death. How would you encourage people or advise people to be able to try new things?
We are able to overpower ourselves and do things that are not comfortable sometimes, things that are hard and things that will make us better and stronger and evolve us. That's why we can do things, just because we're human. It's a very simple answer. Continue making mistakes and continue fighting and continue evolving.
The world is changing. Inspiration is everywhere. It has never been so easy to connect, share, and bring people together. We're learning from others and finding the best in ourselves. Challenging our beliefs. Sharing our vulnerability. Overcoming our fears. Transforming ourselves so we can transform the world. How far can we go? This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is... This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Tony G, the world-renowned poker player, serial entrepreneur, politician, and philanthropist. You are best known as one of the most recognizable faces in the world of high-stakes poker and spent 11 years competing in the biggest tournaments in the world. You're also the CEO of Cyberpunk Holdings, a cryptocurrency investment firm that was one of the first listed companies to hold Bitcoin on its balance sheet. You are the founder of both CryptoNews.com and PokerNews.com, which became the largest poker media outlet in the world. You are also a former member of the European Parliament for Lithuania and focused your efforts on promoting a better climate for entrepreneurship and business opportunities. You ultimately believe blockchain technology will revolutionize how we do business and have a hugely positive impact on the world. Tony, welcome to London Real in Dubai.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
My pleasure. We met at the Satoshi Roundtable over the weekend, and everybody said, that's the guy. That's the poker guy. And I went to YouTube and found some pretty interesting highlight reels of you. You're only my second poker player to have on the show. The first was Dan Bilzerian, and he taught me some things, but I wanted to learn more about your life because it's pretty interesting. I think maybe we'll jump right into poker moments because I've seen a few online, but I'm always wondering, like, what stands out in your mind as some of those big moments, or maybe the big moment? Maybe not because of the pot, maybe because of how you were feeling or the drama, or maybe because you wanted to beat somebody at the table, because I know sometimes you play the man, maybe not the hand. It says you won over $11 million in tournament poker. I'm guessing it's more, not to mention private games. But I'm wondering, like, is there a hand that stands out? Would it have been in Russia or
you hit it right on.
So Russia.
Russia is actually, you were saying it, and it's like Russia in the early 2000s. I was playing in a very large pot limit Omaha game with proper billionaires and proper goons.
Goons.
Well, I mean, it's a mix, right? I mean, poker is a mix, so the environment is tense. And I had this one hand, I had aces double suited, and I won a $5 million pot, in the early 2000s. So like it's a lot of money for me, And then, you still need to collect, you need to have a nice...
And get out of the country.
Get out of the country and get the money sent to you, because you're not going to take the cash, and there was no crypto then, right? So it was fun. So anyway, I ended up having a good relationship with everyone, and collecting and winning the pot and winning a lot of money and being able to play in a very good game. So the key was always to play in a good game. And I was spending a bit of time in Russia playing poker, playing some tournaments. I actually won maybe 3 or 4 tournaments in Russia, and ended up, I gave all the money to charity from the tournaments. And that's why I probably got invited to the game. I mean, without thinking about it, to those big games and having much more profit there.
Why do you think you won in Russia?
Why did I win?
Yeah.
Because I think I had more experience playing, understand the game better, and playing players that are weaker than me. I'm not the greatest player, but it's the ability to get in and find bigger fish than you. That's more important in poker than to be the best player. Because if those GTO young players will not be able to get into those super good games if they don't have a profile, some charisma, some personality, something else for the rich people want to play with you and to donate to you.
Donate to you.
It's kind of a donation, right? I mean, if someone's a lot better, it's a way. It's still like chess. If one player is better than the other, you can never win in the long run. But the standard deviation can be much higher in poker, so you can have winning days or winning hours, and you can feel good about it, and you can make the bluff here and there. But someone that's very good at poker is always going to have an advantage on you, and at the end of the day is going to come out winning. So, but there's a lot of intricacies there, right? Because you have to maybe sell a piece because the stakes can be too high. So there's not many pros can just come in and play in $1 million buying game, right? They've probably never seen $1 million. So there's a lot of politics and deal making on the sides all the time in these games.
It's interesting because we just think it's a poker game, but it's not. It's a show to a certain extent, right? Especially when there's cameras on you. It's an experience for the billionaires that are playing because they want to play Tony G, or maybe they want a cool story for their friends. Maybe that's worth $1 million for them.
Of course. People don't mind losing $1 million. It's nothing, We're playing private games all the time.
And you're happy for them to do it.
I'm happy for them to do it, and I could use the money better, right? But look, for now it's not about that. Now it's not about really winning, but just having fun and playing. And I'm still fortunate that a lot of people do want to play, and we have a bit of fun and interaction, and you get to meet very interesting people, and then spend some time and have a bit of fun playing poker. And if you're a little bit better, it's always a bit more fun winning, believe me.
I mean, I heard you talk about, 2002, you're in Austria, and, you're kind of broke. And you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to make this poker thing go. So to fast forward that a few years, and you're making $5 million in Russia. I mean, how do you keep calm when you're sitting at a table about to be $5 million richer, which will change your life forever unless you give it to charity. But like, how do you do that? Because it's real. It's not like you're already worth 20 and it's an extra couple. I mean, it's real.
It's like progression. The game might start much less and then it builds up. And at the end of the night, you have a super big pot that's like can be life changing. And it's we'll run it once. It's important to win that pot there and there. And I was actually behind on the flop, like a nut flush draw. And it came in, and as I say, Bob's your uncle. Fine, you move forward, but you can also lose those pots, and it can be heartbreaking. And there's been a lot of those too in my life, right? As you say, in Austria, broke, and as well, it was like I found a Italian guy to play heads up for like 72 hours, and was able to clean him out to get a nice bankroll together, and then progress from there. Invest some money in PokerNews.com and other things. To keep yourself going. It was never easy. No one gave it to you. In fact, it's always people trying to take it away from you. So you have to keep fighting.
Right. That's the name of your business. Is people are literally trying to take away your money.
Yeah, literally trying to take away your money in every possible way. So you have to. The sharks are circling all the time. So you have to be brave, strong, and always looking around and ready to take a punch every now and again as well.
When you're at that table in Russia, were you talking trash like we see you?
Oh, absolutely not.
No,
Absolutely
not in Russia.
Scared and just wanting to get through the night and move on, right? It's just not like you.
That's not a place you talk trash necessarily.
No. You don't talk trash in like private games with people who are not, as good as you. You try to be a total gentleman, which actually I am. Actually I'm off the table. Just in those TV shows, playing against those super pros. Look, we want to make it have a bit of fun. So I'm aggressive, I'm brash, and having fun in my own way. That's my personality on TV. It's real, but that's the way I am. Playing poker on TV, or playing poker in a competitive environment. So we know it's a competition, and we're meant to be professionals. So you can take a bit of heat here and there, but in private cash games with sophisticated, articulate people, we keep our etiquette also at the same sort of level.
Right.
Spoke.
But you still probably give a little bit. You just dial it way down.
Well, I die way down.
Way down. Okay.
I'm really like
Okay.
very calm. So I'm safe to invite to your game as long as you have very high stakes.
Okay. Now, what your highlight reels in the tournaments are, so you're saying they're for show, and Tony G's in the corner, and you're, prodding people, sometimes pushing them, sometimes making fun of how they're playing. And again, it's a great show for TV, but you do get under people's skin, even professionals, you do.
Yes.
And those pros are on TV as well, which means you're potentially making them look bad in front of a lot of people. Is that a method of you dealing with the situation yourself from not an anxiety standpoint? And B, is it a way to get in people's heads and trip them up? Or C, is it just a way of you just being?
I think it's for sure. Having some anxiety, I'm also anxious, right? Playing. So of course a lot of that comes out and you try to cope with it one way or another, and that's probably coming out. And it's also being me, just excited on TV, right? Now reflecting to my younger days, I was even more brash and exuberant. So it's true. It's just the way it was. It wasn't like I was a strategy for me to be like that. It's also having a drink just to relax the nerves a bit here and there. So it was just me. It was just my personality. But on the table, it wasn't like I'm like that off the table with people. So excited, pumped, wanting to win, and doing everything I could to win. But it wasn't some secret strategy to disbalance the opponent or to humiliate the opponent here and there. And probably a lot of luck. A lot of those hands and TV things I won was a lot of luck, a lot of fortune, and fortune favors the brave.
Is sometimes the best defense a good offense? Because I was watching you sometimes prodding those people, and I thought, man, you move first. And so it's harder for them to now do it to you. They're reacting to you. And if they try to go on the offensive, it looks like, oh, now they're perturbed. So just by you giving it large a little bit, you kind of establish that I'm the guy that's kind of giving it a little bit. It's also very British Aussie, your vibe.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Americans know how to deal with that. They're not used to that. Maybe that banter. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's the banter. And there was a player who passed away, Devilfish, David Elliott.
That was a big win for you, and you were kind of in his face.
Yeah. I was in his face all the time. I beat him most of the games we were on, but he was also very aggressive, but in a even more aggressive way. I mean, I've toned down that version, but I did learn from him, and you feel very uncomfortable playing with him. So I guess players just felt uncomfortable and could make a few extra mistakes, which we can take to the bank.
Right. And so you saw him doing that early on, and you felt him doing that.
Yeah.
And you were kind of inspired by that.
Yeah, I was inspired by that, and it was my personality, just brash, exuberant, excited about being there, trying to win, believing I could win. And that's very important. Even just believing that you can win and believing you're the best. Even now on reflection, thinking maybe I wasn't. It gives you 80% of the way there. It gives you such a big advantage that it's not funny. So
really, even in poker,
I think in poker it's extreme. If you look at Phil Hellmuth, for example, as well, it's like he's so confident as well in himself. Although for sure he doesn't have the skill of those GTO super guns. But if you're confident, if you can intimidate people and you can really believe in yourself, it will give you some advantage. You will have a very big advantage. You can have a very successful life. You're halfway there. So definite advice is just to be confident and work on that confidence. Confidence, you have to be crazy confident. That's how I see people making it. You know, especially when you get over 50 and, you know, in your 50s and you look at people, reflect, you think, you know, they're not that smart. But you think you have to also reflect on yourself that you're not that smart. But if you're confident, if you're doing some good things, you make it a life. You have a good, successful life. So I think that's what we all have to work on.
One of my mentors was asked like 20 years ago, what's the split between brains and balls? And I think he said 50-50. And then he looked back later and said, it's more like 90-10, 90% balls. And then he looked back later and he said it's 99% balls. It was just him going for it and taking the risk that got him where he was.
Exactly, I think for sure. Because if you're very conservative and reserved, you're probably not even going to play poker on TV. So you have to go for it. You have to believe in yourself, and just have to work on things that are perhaps lacking. And you have the whole lifetime to learn. That's why we're still living.
Did you ever get to a tournament and were surprised at how people weren't bringing their game, their mental game, their head game? Maybe you'd heard about these players and you were at the table and you're like, man, this guy, I'm able to intimidate him easy, or he's having an off day and he's really seems rattled and it's affecting his play. Because a lot of times fighters will get to a fight and they'll be like, wow, this guy wasn't his night. Something was off, you know, and they're like, wow, it wasn't what I expected. Did that happen to you? And then the other way around as well, where someone really surprised you with composure, maybe a younger player.
Yeah, I can remember I won a tournament with about 500 players. It was the first ever Asian Poker Championship in Singapore. So a lot of players, big tournament, huge trophy, and a lot of new players playing this tournament. And I just ran over the whole field and won the tournament quite easily because people were just intimidated, you know, playing tight, folding their hands, and just aggression used to work in terms of just being in control of the betting and the pots. So it's very easy. Now with the game advancing, it's the game is the other way around now. Calling and creating value in pots has become very important. So that's just mathematics. I mean, poker is just mathematics at the end of the day. So,
and confidence.
Yeah, of course. Especially worked, you know, 15, 20 years ago, but now the game is advanced a lot. So confidence is still very important, but mathematics ultimately does beat confidence. It's just been worked out now, and you know the GTO, so game theory optimal, is there now prevalent, and the game has changed a lot.
So when you say the game is advanced, it means that most players now know the percentages down to the decimal, and now they know much more about the game. They know the game theory, so they're much wiser than maybe they were 10 years ago?
Exactly. That's what the super pros work on. They work just on the game theory, every situation, ranges, starting situations. The game is basically worked out now for No Limit Hold'em. If you played very deep in terms of smaller blinds and very deep, $1 million plus deep, the game is still difficult to work out. But you know, I must admit I've also had a little bit of coaching to improve things that I wasn't so good at. And that's been mainly creating value in situations in terms of not re-raising people out of hands, which previously you could do all the time and just intimidate and catch the other way. And now the game's turned a lot. Even my style has changed. You cannot be aggressive.
Because people know better.
Yeah, it's more about situations where you have to really work out and polarize or exploit certain situations. So it's very mathematical now, which is a bit of a shame.
Huh.
So we need some evolution. The game is now becoming a Squid Game. So now we're playing Squid Game, and the Squid Game is very important.
What do you mean by Squid Game?
So you have to win a hand every 9 hands. You have to win a hand. If you don't win a hand, you pay everybody a penalty. So it can be.
It forces you to be aggressive.
It forces you to be in pots, not just to be aggressive. It forces you to play.
Right.
You can't sit back because you get penalties. So the Squid Game now is a nice evolution, and Hold'em is a lot more interesting for cash games, because I think No Limit Hold'em for tournaments is still a lot of fun. It's very different, but things have worked out, so people know, you know, that they know their strategy basically from a sheet of how to play it. Especially at the end, it's very easy. So it's not very complicated, No Limit Hold'em. So people are working on it, and then it becomes more of a show. Who can make a better show? That's how you become more famous, because it's not like you can be the best of the best from 1 billion players, right? So key is to be invited to those very juicy cash games. And also, it's not just the juicy for money. For me, it's not about money. It's also the personalities, the people you can meet and have fun with, you know. So I think that's also, and some people might not be famous, but very successful people that you can learn a lot from and have a lot of fun.
Okay. So tell me how poker evolved, because maybe you were one of the first people to create a media brand. Obviously, you had Poker News, but then you became this brand. And then now people want you there for a lot of reasons. They don't just want the best players. They need a show at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
These tournaments, they want people to watch.
Exactly. So that was always on my mind. So with Poker News, we actually paid for media rights. First, I paid the World Series of Poker to have the media rights to cover live reporting. And with Poker News, we revolutionized poker because we made live reporting interesting and profitable for everybody and to attract a lot more players. So we built good technology, good interaction with the fans at home. And that was very important in terms of innovation of poker. So the poker became much more relevant, and people could just follow it on their phones. And then in the cash games itself, right? So we had a lot of fun playing TV cash games, the Poker Stars, the big game. That was just fun. I could just come, enjoy myself, have fun, make the game loose, wild. Put straddles on, and we had some memorable moments that go down in history. So I'm very fortunate to have been able to live through that and to enjoy that.
And now you play to meet people, have fun, and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I do. Of course, sometimes there's some exceptionally big games, and it might be on a very nice big yacht. It might be in some mountains in Japan. There's a secret locations or something around Dubai. We've had some big games. We never disclose who or where or what, but games are going on all the time, and that's fun, and I do it. But I'm not like looking to play poker anymore.
Just when you try to get out, they drag you back in.
Yeah, when I try to get out, they give you an offer that you cannot refuse.
Like what? They call you show up.
Yeah, like we have a yacht in Italy. We have the best yacht in the world. How can I come and meet the most interesting people and play an amazing game and maybe make $3-4 million for coming? So you can't refuse, right?
How many people will sit at that table, and what does that look like? You walk in, you're meeting these people. You're looking at them, you're reading them. You're staying there. What is that whole process like?
It's fun. It usually is like some bosses, from in some kind of business. It's maybe more around Asian people usually, that really love to play and invite you. It was nice that people want to party, have fun, drink, and play some poker, and that's how it is. I'm not like for those very serious games where people want to grind and there's pros involved who want to beat one player. So it's important to get into the right environment, because if it's not a very healthy microclimate, it's not a lot of fun.
Will it be like 6 people at a table?
About 6 people.
You'll play for 4 hours?
Yeah, about 6-7 people maximum. We don't want to play longer. We don't want to play it like with more players, because the game's a bit tighter and boring. And we play 4 or 5. Look, if someone's losing big and very wealthy, the game can keep going longer, a lot longer. So there's never a time limit. You have to probably say you have to play at least 4 hours, and you can never quit winning. Although crypto guys do that all the time.
They what? Quit winning?
Quit winning, yeah. Quit winning early. It was surprising.
They do that?
Yeah,
winning, and then they leave.
Yeah, cash out. I want to cash out.
That's a big no-no. Any poker veteran knows you ride that wave.
Yeah. You have to ride to the end of the game. You can't just unless you come and said before the game, I have to leave. You can't just run up and take $100K off the table and go.
Because it's rude. It's bad etiquette.
It's bad etiquette.
Not to give them a chance to win some back.
Of course.
Or not to bleed them dry.
It can also break the game. It's like you've got a stack now. Someone can chase, and you have to give a chance. You can't just come and it's not a casino. We were playing poker here. It's not like you can come, have a spin on roulette and leave. Yeah, casino do that for sure. But in a poker game, it's not cool to just run it up and leave and cash. So I just want to cash out.
Okay. So on the private games, you don't do that.
You don't do that.
No.
I mean, yeah.
You go
if
until
wanna
they
be
want to stop
invited-
playing.
Yeah, I mean, in
you're
a
out.
private game, you cannot do that, right? Because how can you do that? The game, people are coming a long way to play, and you want to have fun. So usually, those people would not be invited. It's not appropriate.
Do you ever win a lot of money from someone in a private game and they get upset and they want you to stay longer so they can win it back?
Yeah, and you have to do it.
Really?
If you have to do
So
it.
the yacht just is not coming to port for a few more days.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, we'd play days and days and days, right? So it wouldn't be, you'd have to just keep playing. Just go overnight and keep going, play in the morning. I mean, if someone's losing and, you respect that person, you have to give a chance.
You ever had to say no? Like, I've had enough?
Well, usually you say, okay, I have 2 hours notice, It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, you say, look, two more hours, 3 more hours, I'm going to sleep. And that's it. So you have to have some limits if you're super tired. But you can't just say, okay, I'm quitting now after you won. Or
Okay.
if you're losing, you can quit. That's fine. No one can stop you from losing.
Have you ever been in a dicey situation in a private game?
I haven't. But there is a lot of cheating going on in games, for sure. I've been fortunate, but I've heard a lot of stories. I guess I'm just in with the right kind of people, so I haven't experienced it, but there is a lot of cheating now.
Do you know if someone's cheating?
You could not know exactly. There's different ways of cheating, and I wouldn't even know all the ways. So it's just more appropriate to associate yourself with the right people. So it's very dangerous to just go with random people that are not very well known and play in a private game, because there's multiple ways of 100% cheat to be cheated, and that's going on all the time. There's gangs working on this 24/7. I call them gangs or whatever. They're organized criminals, right? I mean, they're looking for people to target them and to take their money, by cheating.
Got it.
It's going on. So it's,
And what about when people get emotional? I mean, if they lose millions or more and they just are angry or want you to stay forever.
I feel bad, actually. I had been playing with one guy, and he's actually been losing a lot to me, like recently, like in the millions. And I actually feel bad, if they like run out of money, can't pay straight away. Even if they're rich, you still feel bad, but you still got to take the money.
Do you have to collect sometimes? Do people owe you money in the world?
No, basically. I mean, I have a few small debts, but it's not. I don't have any big dramas at all.
Okay.
I'm pretty good.
Because I asked Dan Bilzerian what to ask you, and he said ask him about the private games.
Yeah.
And Dan is known, I think his book was called The Setup. And so Dan is all about the setup with women and with poker. And this is his advice for maybe younger men, is that, don't try to go out to the club and hit on every woman there. Put yourself in a room where there's 20 women and you're the guy there, and they have no choice but to talk to you. If you look at his Halloween parties, which he's invited me to, that's kind of what he does. And he's always like, it's about the setup. And I think the same is in poker, where he always tried to go at the private tables with people who wanted to play Dan Bilzerian, who probably weren't as good as him, but maybe just wanted that experience. Is that, you alluded to it earlier, is that the best way?
I'm actually very, very similar in that way. Of course, I'm not anywhere near that level of acumen of Dan, but this is
Acumen of setup or acumen of poker?
Acumen of whatever. His status is just godly. So I'm different, but I'm in my own way. Also, we like to have girls around, lots of parties. If I'm like at King's Casino in the Czech Republic, I'd have the spa. The whole floor would be closed for me. The spa at night, everybody would know. It's like the Tony G party, and we would have fun. We would have a very big game, and then we have a lot of fun. It's the same everywhere. So I also do the same thing. Try to invite 20, 30 girls, and have a lot of fun. People could talk to them, and we'd have 6 men for 30 girls or something, and, to make sure it's a nice balance. But that's what people want. That's our business, right? It's pleasure and entertainment, right? So we have to have everything to have fun and to be happy.
Is that what it's all about? Is that what poker's all about? Having fun?
It's not really. I mean, I think it's about winning, but it's also about stimulation. But at certain times, it is about having fun, right? So you want to have that image of having those girls around you. It's for image building. It's important, right? It's not. It doesn't mean it's like you're that or you're not that. But for image, it's important, and I think people love it. And then there's something mystical, something more interesting about you than just a nerd playing poker very well, right? So I mean, everyone wants to have fun. Everyone wants to have some release, and everyone wants to have some gamble. That's a game of skill. Poker is a real game of skill. So at least you're losing to someone smarter. You can feel good, but if you're interacted and have fun, you're satisfied for that transaction to have occurred fairly and cleanly, and everybody moves on.
So it's the Tony G show at the end of the day.
It is the
The 360-degree experience you get. The party, the girls, the fun, the talk.
For sure. That's how I try to roll.
Okay. You talked about like partying and drinking. Do you have any rules when you play poker? Can you play when you're drinking? Can you play when you're tired? Can you play when you're in a bad mood? Can you play when there's girls there? How do you do that? Because it seems like drinking and poker is a dangerous combination.
Yeah, I manage it. Yeah, it's managed. But yeah, you kind of have to do it because you would stand out that you're like different from everybody else. And
So it's standard to drink at the poker table.
it's standard for our kind of games. It's standard to drink and to have fun. I mean, not necessarily you have to really get drunk, but I mean, I do have a drink, but not all the time. You could also not do it. It's just daily, right? But usually people will have a drink and have a bit of fun and relax. I mean, you don't want to be like tense. So for me, it's normal. I guess that's my brand, but it's not like I recommend it for everybody else.
Okay.
It takes a lot of years of drinking and experience to get immunity to be able to handle yourself well.
But for you, a drink can help you play better.
A drink can change things up a bit. Yeah. A drink can help me play better, I guess. Who knows? Maybe I would have won much more money not drinking, but
But
it's too late now.
I mean, darts in Britain is really popular.
Yes.
You've got a British vibe to you, and so is snooker. And the darts guys are known for just drinking and throwing darts. Which
Yeah.
is, highly precision work.
And I've met a lot of those guys. So it's very interesting. It's they can do it. It's fun, right? Their business is also entertainment, and
Right.
they're very skillful. And I guess the drink relaxes them a bit. I think for poker, no problem, especially if you're playing with similar ability people, and if everyone's having a drink, everyone's having fun. It's nice. The time passes faster as well, right? More exciting. It's fine for me. It's fine. I'm old school, but I'm sure the young kids don't do it and they do it properly and do everything properly. I'm more for everything to happen and nothing bad to happen.
What are the young kids like in this business? Do they come in super serious? Do they come in? What's with all the sunglasses and all that stuff? Has that been kind of banned on the TV stuff? Because a bunch of the highlights I saw, because for a while I would see it and everybody's face were totally covered, and it probably doesn't make for good media. But I guess that was so people wouldn't give tells. Is that right?
Yeah, you could tell from your eyes if they're contracting or expanding, sort of. You could tell if you're bluffing or not, or how stressed you are in certain situations.
Can you read people pretty well?
It's an instinct, It's like it's not. I guess I can, but it's an instinct. It's not like an art that you have precise knowledge of it. But you can. Some people we can, and some people can't. It's all a number of areas of hands and situations, and you just hope to do more good things than bad things in terms of reading, and I've managed to do that in my life. And it's also about what they're thinking about you and how they're reading you. So it's about the signals you send to. And these guys work on it. The young kids are bots. A lot of the best players are focused. They're taking 8 seconds to act exactly the first move, and it's all very set. So it's very boring and very mechanical in a way. So I'm very anti that. And of course, they're not going to have a drink, and they're going to be very strict and precise and very nerdy.
They're like computers.
Fine.
They're trying to be computers.
Yeah, they're just being a computer. They're just being a computer. For them, the game doesn't mean anything. It's just another puzzle, which is fine. You have to respect it. But there's a lot of people like that nowadays, and that's where it is. So you don't want to be in that environment. That's why I refuse to play so much with them in tournaments. Nowadays, it's a bit boring for me. But I still play the big action Triton Poker Series. I'm likely to be going to Korea in a few weeks' time. We'll have the big Triton cash game on TV, which I play all the time. And we had $1 million cash game actually in Los Angeles, LA, which I also won in. And we had a very successful trip in LA last year. And again, I'm planning to go to the $1 million cash game this year and have a bit of fun in Vegas, LA, everywhere. Play those very big cash games and crush their souls.
Let's talk about that, because I saw you do a couple highlights and you get up and what do you say? I'm the best?
I'm the best. Yeah.
I'm the best.
I'm the best. I'm the best. That's what I say. Yes, and it's very important to believe that, and to get that momentum when you crush them, to keep it going, to make sure they really understand that they're under pressure now and they have to do something extra that they wouldn't normally do to catch up, because now they're behind, and now you're going to really drill them hard and really crush and suck that blood out. You have to work yourself up like that, and it helps a lot. That momentum helps, because the game is very grueling and grinding, right? So you have to do some of these things to really get some momentum.
Celebrate your win.
Yeah, celebrate my win. And kind of, when I was in politics, I didn't play much poker, and then kind of came back after getting out, or finishing my term and commitments in politics. I came back and I won a few tournaments straight away, and I had some very good results, and so I still have the game, but I hardly play tournaments.
Okay. So saying I'm the best, dude, I saw you celebrate. It comes from the soul. Like
It's from the soul, for sure.
I could tell you something's pent up. Like you're feeling a little stressed there, and then it happens, and you're like, I'm the best. I'm the best. But it feels like not many people celebrate like that. Like the guys are like, oh, Jesus, what's going on here, this guy? But the Yanks don't seem to celebrate like that.
So there's a few, but yeah, there's no one quite like me. I can gloat. No, it's not really. But I guess it's pent up stress, anxiety, whatever it is, as you said. So it's being anxious, and that wanting really to win, having that hunger from the young days, where having nothing and having to win. I had to win my first money to make it in life, and nowhere else to turn to. We're all in, having to win, having to survive, right? So that's why it's still there. You can remember it from the young days, for like 30 years ago. We had no choice but to win in life. No other options.
So that guy comes out sometimes.
That guy comes out, I was actually expelled in year 9 from school for gambling, So in Australia. So yeah, washing car windows on the street, and then just gambling and making in life through that. It's not easy.
Are you a gambling addict?
I was a gambling addict at like 12 years old, yeah, for sure. But I'm not gambling addict anymore. But the only therapy and cure I had to win from it at the end.
What do you mean?
Well, I have to win from gambling, right? So if you're a gambling addict that's winning, it's not a problem.
Like a functional alcoholic.
Yeah, like a functional alcoholic, right?
Is it? I mean, you see people gambling. You see probably addicts. Like, how does it compare to other addictions, like drugs or, I don't know, sex or alcohol? Yeah. How does it compare?
I can only relate, like from a 12-year-old, I was really addicted to horse racing in Australia. And I would just want to bet. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to gamble. I would know I would lose because I couldn't beat racing then, but I just wanted to get money and gamble and plan and bet on horses. So I can relate to addicts, but I mean, eventually you just have to cure yourself. So one way is by being the system and finding ways how you could win. So like in blackjack, you can learn how to count cards, for example. So you have to go through a whole lot of therapy and knowledge and learning to get on top of it. Then you understand that it's not so exciting. You're not addicted anymore. Then it's a business, right? But it's good, I think, for kids to be exposed early, so they're not going to be addicted at late life, because it does the most damage when people in the 50s, 60s, already with all their life savings, are now going to lose all the money. That's very dangerous, right? But for a young man or a young woman, it's not a big deal. You can learn from it and move on, right? You're not going to be. It's not like drugs. It's not going to ruin your health. Potentially, right? I mean,
potentially, yeah. So I've met a lot of addicts. I've been an addict. Drugs, alcohol, overdose from heroin. That was one of my favorites. And since then, I've managed to get clean of all that stuff. But those were really ugly addictions that almost cost me my life. But I met a couple gambling addicts. One was a famous MMA fighter, and he used to tell me some of his behaviors. And sometimes I look at that and it looks even uglier sometimes, because I guess ultimately when I would take those things in my system would have to stop at some point, or I would tell me I was feeling terrible, or my heart would stop, or might stop breathing. But with gambling, it feels like you can ruin savings, families, relationships. I mean, I guess the same as with drugs, but it just seems like an equally but some potentially more destructive addiction.
Yeah, it's very destructive at a later life, especially when you already have family, you have commitments, and you don't have the resources to recover after. Yeah, it will damage a lot. So it's very dangerous. So you have to really study and learn it. That's how you won't be addicted once you really understand it. But it's, especially mixing gambling with drugs and alcohol, it's very dangerous. It is very dangerous, and it's something to avoid for sure. Especially now that you can have, you can play online. I heard a story of someone losing like $34 million. Actually, it was on TV yesterday. $34 million losing online, stealing the money from the company, and managed to lose $34 million and having to, disappear basically jump off a cliff, right? It's because it's so embarrassing and so stressful with the whole situation. But there's lots of ways to gamble nowadays. We have forex on margin. It's also the same evil. There's so many ways. People playing the stock market. One-day options, which I'm also like a trader in the market. There's so many things now for people to gamble on, and we're kind of gambling on everything. So I guess it's in human nature. So just the best ones that can be on top of it survive, right? It's a free-for-all thing. But governments do put a lot of protection, especially the UK. The UK Gambling Authority is pretty diligent, and I think, and it's pretty doing a good job in terms of protecting people as much as possible from those dangers, in terms of getting rid of those machines in the shops and things like that, right? Yes, you have to say they're a good example for how gambling should be supervised, because you still want to give freedom, collect the taxes, and which is good for the government, and allow people to be free, right? You can't tell them you cannot gamble, because people, that's our freedom, right? We want to do what we want to do.
Yeah, it's kind of a human right to be able to do what you want to do, right? And online gambling changed everything, even for you, right?
Yeah.
And how did it? How did online poker change the game, change you, change the world?
So the first bit of money I invested in Poker News, like about $8,000 in 2001, and we built it out. We started making $2 million a month revenue from affiliates. So poker was like affiliates. So you'd have trackers, and you'd send players to places like PokerStars or Party Poker. And I was good at making deals, go and see the owners, have a good chat, have a drink, make a good deal, even with full tilt, and try to make the most amount of money from each player that you send, and that was the way it was going.
And you as a player, did you get better online? Were you able to win online as well?
I was able to win online. I used to play a lot of sit and goes and Party Poker. I was able to win tournaments, more or less I'm winning, and I have the record pot for online poker online, which just a few years ago, $7.7 million actually won online on coin poker.
Wow. You won.
I won
online.
I won another, it was another pot limit Omaha pot, and I won with a straight $7.7 million pot online. Yeah.
And they gave it to you.
And they gave it to me. And they gave it to me. Yeah, it's like crypto poker. So
okay.
It was on coin poker.
Wow, that's intense. When you're online, you know that people can be running numbers while they're live. Does that change the game at all?
Yeah, they can be. Yeah, but on the side, it's not allowed. But well, it does. But you still want to. Sometimes you still know those super high stakes. You might know the players pretty well, so they're not running the numbers. Like PLO is super deep. It's not so easy to run the numbers that well, and you have to play very fast.
Okay.
So if HUDs are not on it, I don't think it's happening at those very high stakes, because you kind of know the player and you have to be super good to be able to play. But online poker is good. I mean, it's healthy, I think, for people to play like tournaments, small tournaments, whatever you can afford. It's good. Actually, it's good for Alzheimer's to delay it. It's good. It's good. It's for sure. Like these sort of things with your mind, and a bit of stress in losing or winning, a bit of excitement. It's good for your health. Very, very healthy for your health, for sure.
Interesting. I know you're into longevity, and I want to get to that. But that's what I wanted to ask. Should everyone play poker? I mean, like you said, I'm calling out gambling as being an addiction, but life is a gamble. Business is a gamble. Relationships are a gamble, right? So do you think everybody should play poker?
I think everybody should play poker. They should do it at school and learn about gambling and risks. Yeah, I think it should be from school. Start at school, so kids are learning how to protect their chips, how bankroll situations, as soon as possible. There's so many things, and so many good traders come out from poker. So good for your life if you're a successful poker player. Even if you're not successful, it's so good for stimulation and being smarter than you normally would be, for sure.
Because it's ultimately risk management. That's what it is, right? You're trying to estimate probabilities of you winning, and you're trying
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.